I'm Wolf Larson. I'm the author of Capitalism Sucks. Today I want to talk about the latest economic crisis. Marx talked about it, lots of other people have talked about it. Capitalism has its ups and its downs. And even when capitalism is doing relatively well, even when the economy is doing relatively well, there's still lots of workers who are working for miserly wages. There's still plenty of unemployed people. There's still a mountain of misery in third world capitalist countries. You still have the infrastructure of the United States falling apart. But in the bad economic times, things are even worse. Okay, unemployment up, and then you have lots of homeless people, more than before. You have all these foreclosures. Things get even worse. And you can think about people who are living on the margins, people who are just barely getting by, and then comes an economic crisis, and they're making even less money, and yet the prices of goods are going up and up and up. And of course, this is now causing social rebellion across the world. The social rebellions in the Middle East have spread to Israel now. The Israelis are angry, and justifiably so, because the cost of rent is going up and up and up, and their wages are not going up with them. But all over the world, you can bet that it's the workers who are being made to pay for this economic crisis. The rich people themselves, they're living better than ever. The big corporations, many of them are bringing in higher profits than ever. They lay off more and more workers. They use the massive amounts of unemployment to force the remaining workers to do the jobs of two people for less money. And so corporate profits are up, up, up. And the politicians will tell you, there's nothing we can do. And they'll tell you that if you demand higher wages, we'll take your jobs and we'll move them to another country. Okay? Now, you should always fight for better wages. You should always fight for better working conditions. But you know what? There's a certain truth to that. That if you fight for a decent standard of living for all workers in America, or all workers in Europe, or all workers in Latin America, they'll take those jobs and move them somewhere else. So what's the solution? Get rid of capitalism. Look, dude, it doesn't work. In the Soviet Union, okay, under a rotten Stalinist bureaucracy, they had a planned economy. And the workers lived far better under the Soviet Union than they do today. Check the statistics on the internet. Check the life expectancy of the Russian workers under the Soviet Union, and check the life expectancy of Russian workers under the new Tsar. I mean the capitalist system, okay, in Russia today. And you will find that the Soviet workers enjoyed a higher standard of living than the Russian workers. You will find that the Soviet workers enjoyed better health care than the Russian workers, and you will find the same is true throughout the world. That capitalism is good for the rich, and it's bad for everybody else. So what we need to do to end all these economic crises, to end this boom-bust cycle of capitalism, is just get rid of it. Okay? How do you get rid of capitalism? Well, first, you need a political party that will represent the interests of the working people. Neither the capitalists, nor the Republicans, nor the vast majority of the political parties in any of these capitalist democracies represent the interests of the working people. The political parties, whether they claim to be for the workers or not, almost always represent the interests of the rich and the big corporations. Okay? So what we need to do is build a workers' party in all of these countries, a real workers' party that will unite the interests of all the workers. Like in Israel, a workers' party would unite the interests of Jewish and Arab, Jewish and Muslim. In the United States, a workers' party would unite the interests of white, black, Latino, Jewish, Arab, Christian, male, female, black, white, gay, straight. In Europe, okay, a workers' parties would unite the French workers with the immigrant workers, and all of these countries in Europe, the native-born workers in Europe need to unite with the immigrant workers. All the workers must be united. All the workers need a workers' party. And eventually, Okay? You need, or as soon, eventually when the workers are ready, you need to throw capitalism in the garbage can. The rich people, you need to take away their ill-begotten wealth and use it to build schools, to rebuild the infrastructure, like look at what happened in New Orleans. Okay? You need to use that wealth for free quality medical care for all. Take away the ill-begotten wealth of the billionaires and make them get a job. Okay? That will be socialism. You will be paid according to your work. Eating caviar and drinking champagne is not a job. Okay? These rich people need to get a job. We need to take away their ill-begotten wealth that they've gotten through ill-begotten means like these derivatives. They're basically a bunch of thieves. Okay? These billionaires. And these politicians, throw them in the garbage can. We need a workers' party. That's the only way to stop all of this economic misery and economic crisis under capitalism. We need to build a workers' party. We need socialism. We need a workers' revolution. A workers' revolution is not necessarily violent. In a workers' revolution, though, the working class will defend its own interests. It will stop any attempts at counter-revolution. Okay? It will stop the bourgeoisie from organizing a counter-revolution. So, a workers' revolution is not violence. But in a workers' revolution, the workers will defend themselves and their own interests. Under socialism, a workers' government will defend itself. Okay? So we need to take capitalism and throw it in the garbage can. And the first step towards that is to build a workers' party. Bye-bye. I'm Wolf Larson. I'm the author of Capitalism Sucks. Bye-bye.